Yeah, a championship, that's our goal, and I think working every single day.
This team is going to break so many records this year.
Caitlin Clark just went all out in her insane return to Iowa with the Indiana Fever. And trust me, her haters are losing their minds.
She hits her signature logo 3 from 36 feet. Yes, I said it, 36 feet.
She managed to break her own record in just 8 minutes. So yes, girl, if you have tuned in just to watch her, congratulations, your time was absolutely well spent.
Ticket price was $650. Now, if you do the math here and you do 15,000 people times $650, that is almost $9.75 million just for a WNBA.
It's said when we come home, our energy feels amplified. There's something about returning to a place that shaped us that brings out the best in us.
Caitlin Clark made her preseason debut as the Indiana Fever traveled to Iowa City to take on the Brazilian national team in front of a sold-out arena.
For Caitlin Clark, that homecoming was nothing short of electrifying.
People were so excited for this game for many reasons, but the main one being that Caitlin Clark would be returning to her alum to Iowa to play at Carver Hawkeye Arena.
After 7 months away from competitive basketball, she stepped back onto the Carver Hawkeye Arena floor, a place where she became a household name and helped define a new era for women's basketball. And the energy in that building? Absolutely insane.
Her jersey is in the rafters at that arena, and they also have a spot on the floor where she broke the NCAA scoring record. It's a 22 on the court.
As soon as Clark's name was called, the crowd went wild. As soon as Clark's name was called, the crowd went wild. And I'm not just saying that. Hold your ears, because it was like a legit sonic boom. Yes, man. The noise reached 116 dB, louder than some NFL and NBA games. The buzz had been building for days, and it only escalated as game time approached.
Now, you are not going to be able to face guard, double team, trap Caitlin Clark because there are so many other threats on the floor. She hits her signature logo 3 from 36 feet. Yes, I said it, 36 feet. She was actually behind her signature logo that was on the court.
Then came the shot. You know the one, the 36-foot three-pointer that had everyone in the arena losing their minds. The crowd, already amped up, exploded into sheer pandemonium when Clark pulled up from way beyond the three-point line, hitting a logo 3 from the exact spot where she had broken Kelsey Plum's NCAA scoring record.
Exploded, the arena exploded. Everybody was just holding on and hoping that she would hit a 3 from her signature logo. So that was a super fun moment.
The place shook. And why wouldn't it? That shot wasn't just a basket. It was a statement. It wasn't just Clark showing off her range. It was her reminding everyone, in the loudest way possible, that she's back. And she's better than ever.
45.5% from 3 during this game against the Brazilian national team. Like, this team has some great shooters. Kelsey Mitchell had 4 threes. Caitlin Clark had 4 threes. Sophie had 1 3. Sydney had 1 3. Lexi Hall was 3 for 3.
It was the kind of moment that defines a player. For most, coming back after a long layoff means shaking off the rust, getting back into the rhythm of the game. But Clark? She made it look effortless. No signs of rust, no hesitation, just pure confidence and skill. Even after months away, she hit that shot with the same smoothness, the same poise that made her a household name in the first place.
Fun on the court, having fun on the bench. There's no egos, and Caitlin talked about that in another interview. It doesn't seem like there are any egos on this team that are going to get in the way of their one goal, and that is to win a championship.
The ball arced high, sailing through the air in that signature trajectory fans had come to love, and swished through the net without touching the rim. There was no question it was going in. Not just a shot, but a perfect reminder of who Caitlin Clark is.
Indiana Fever won big, 108-44. The starters for this game were DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard, Aaliyah Boston.
Clark's teammates didn't miss the significance either. They joined in the celebration, and the chemistry between them was undeniable. Sophie Cunningham joked that no one cared when Clark made her shot, and Lexi Hull grinned, teasing her about the lack of a big reaction.
Caitlin was signing their jerseys after the game. They were taking photos with her and the rest of the Indiana Fever.
It was all in good fun, a testament to the bond this team already shares, even at this early stage of the season. But more than that, it showed something deeper. This team, with Clark at its center, is ready to take on anything. And if this preseason game was any indication, they're not just aiming for a good season, they're aiming for greatness.
What was the final score? 44-108. How many points is that? Like 64 points? Even though they lost by that much, it still seemed like they had a great time.
The final score, 108-44, a dominant victory for the Fever. But the scoreline couldn't fully capture what had just happened. It wasn't just a one-player show. The Fever played with fluidity, unselfishness, and intensity. Clark was a big part of that, but she wasn't the only one. Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, and the rest of the Fever squad came together, playing with a sense of purpose that's been building since the offseason.
Tickets for this game actually sold out within the hour when it was announced, and people were lining up for over 3 hours before the game just to get into this arena. So
the sold-out showdown at Carver Hawkeye Arena was the event of the year, with 15,000 fans packed into the stands, all eager to catch a glimpse of their hometown hero.
And the average reported ticket price was $650. Now, if you do the math here and you do 15,000 people times $650, that is almost $9.75 million just for a WNBA.
The ticket prices were through the roof, with some seats going for as much as $670. This was no regular preseason game. It was clear this was a moment that Iowa City wasn't about to miss. The demand was so high that tickets sold out in minutes, and fans were lined up for hours before the game even started.
This is something that continues to come up with this Indiana Fever team. It seems like no matter who is getting interviewed, they all mention that championship is the goal. It is championship or bust. Nothing is changing with this team.
As the crowd gathered, the energy built, becoming almost palpable. It wasn't just Clark's return that had fans so excited. It was what she represented. Caitlin Clark had turned Iowa City into the epicenter of women's basketball. Her homecoming wasn't just about her return to the court, but also about how she had brought national attention to the state of Iowa. From her record-breaking performances in college to her rise in the WNBA with the Indiana Fever, Clark had become a symbol of excellence.
The attendance for this game. So there were 14,998 people in attendance for this game at Carver Hawkeye Arena.
Caitlin took it all in stride, and her homecoming speech was as heartfelt as it was sincere. You could see the pride in her eyes as she talked about showing her new Indiana Fever teammates around Iowa City. "People don't realize how great of a college town this is," she said with a smile. It wasn't just about basketball. It was about the place that helped shape her. Her excitement about sharing Iowa with her new team was contagious, and the Fever players, who were experiencing the hype of an Iowa City game for the first time, couldn't help but be swept up in the moment.
I know we've talked about it, attendance, viewership, merch sales, all of the things, the fan base that rides behind this Indiana Fever team, even the game that I was at that Caitlin Clark didn't play, the attendance was recorded at 12,461, even with it being a preseason game that Caitlin didn't play in.
Then came the moment when the Fever made their statement on the court. The game against Brazil ended in absolute domination, with the Fever obliterating their opponents 108-44. This wasn't just a show of individual brilliance from Caitlin Clark. This was a team performance that had everyone standing up and taking notice.
Hop on while there is still room because this team the aura is insane. Now, you would think with this being such a big game for Caitlin, her returning to her alumni in Iowa and her hitting that massive logo three during the game.
The Fever were far more than just Caitlin Clark's team. They were a collective force, a well-oiled machine ready to take on the league. Kelsey Mitchell drained 4 threes, Aaliyah Boston contributed 11 points and played solid defense, while Sophie Cunningham brought the energy off the bench.
and they said real home court advantage. Welcome back to Iowa, Caitlin Clark. Now, one of her lead sponsors that was noticeably quiet yesterday was Nike. And a lot of people were tweeting about this. They were wondering, why isn't Nike and Nike basketball, why are none of their accounts saying anything about this?
The Fever's dominance on the court was undeniable, and the way they moved the ball, unselfishly, decisively, was a clear indication that they had a chemistry that most teams only dream of. Their crisp ball movement was a thing of beauty, with every player knowing exactly where they needed to be, whether it was cutting to the basket or finding the open shooter on the perimeter.
Cece, one word to describe today.
Only one word.
Even Stephanie White, head coach of the Indiana Fever, has made one thing perfectly clear. The team's goal for 2025 is championship or bust. This isn't just a catchy slogan. It's a mindset that has been drilled into every player since the first day of training camp. Caitlin Clark, the centerpiece of the team, shares this mentality with her teammates, and it's obvious that everyone is fully aligned with the goal of capturing a championship. The Fever aren't just looking to make the playoffs. They're looking to dominate the WNBA and establish themselves as the league's top team.
What does it mean to you to be going back to play at Iowa, but this time with your jersey in the rafters?
Yeah, I'm super excited to go back and play at Iowa. Obviously a place that has meant a lot to me, and we've had so many amazing games inside that arena, so it'll be fun to be back in front of those fans and honestly to get to introduce those fans to all my new teammates. And the Indiana Fever I think will be really special because they love supporting all of us. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And
Clark, while undoubtedly a superstar, isn't playing solo. The Fever have built a squad where every player has a role and is ready to step up when it counts. This isn't a team where one player carries the load. This is a well-rounded group that operates as a cohesive unit.
a year ago, and I think just getting to see people that have supported me throughout my career and continue to support me is going to be incredible, but also like they're the biggest Indiana Fever fans too now.
The team chemistry is palpable. Whether it's Kelsey Mitchell knocking down crucial three-pointers, Aaliyah Boston grabbing tough rebounds, or Sophie Cunningham's defensive intensity off the bench, every player contributes in significant ways. The Fever's success isn't just about individual brilliance. It's about playing together and making the right decisions at the right time. The connection between the players is undeniable, and it's clear that their collective mindset is championship-focused.
I'm most excited to show them how cool Iowa City is. Like, people don't realize how good of a college town that place is. My teammates just expect it to be cornfield, but I'm like, no, it's one of the greatest colleges. So, yeah, downtown Iowa City is where it's at. So we'll give them a little tour, and I'm sure they're going to want to come back.
When you watch the Fever play, it's hard not to notice how much they've improved since last season. This is no longer a team stumbling through growing pains. The ball moves fluidly, passes are crisp, and the offense looks more like a well-oiled machine than ever before. Coach White has instilled a brand of basketball that emphasizes quick ball movement and decisive cuts to the basket. The players aren't just standing around waiting for one player to make a move. They're all engaged, cutting to the basket, finding open shooters, and playing with an urgency that's been missing in the past.
Like, they want to meet all my teammates. They want to cheer for my teammates. And I was telling some of the girls this the other day, I'm like, they're going to go crazy for you too.
The defense has also stepped up. Last season, the Fever struggled on that end, but this season, they've become a team that pressures the ball, forces turnovers, and doesn't give up easy points. This improvement on both ends of the floor is what makes the Fever such a dangerous team going into 2025.
Seats at the arena for the May 4th matchup between the Indiana Fever and Brazil were first offered to season ticket holders and a few top donors.
And it's not just her teammates who are feeling the energy. Clark's influence extends to the Fever's growing fan base as well. The team has become a beacon for women's basketball, drawing in fans who believe in what this squad represents. Clark's work ethic and dedication have inspired not just her teammates, but the entire city of Indiana. The Fever's rise is as much about what Clark brings to the locker room as it is about what she brings on the court. Looking ahead, the Fever are more than just a team. They're a force to be reckoned with. With a roster full of veterans and rising stars, including Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston, this team has everything it needs to compete for a title. The chemistry between the players is electric, and as they head into the 2025 season, it's clear that this isn't just another season opener. So, comment below if you're as excited for 2025 as we are.